I will say it is the most beautiful place that we've been, but you work for the views. It is a long, tough, rugged way to nowhere, but sometimes nowhere is the place to be.
Siskiyou Mountain Club was founded in 2010, and it's a nonprofit organization that restores and maintains hiking trails primarily in wilderness areas throughout Southern Oregon and Northern California. We're using hand tools, crosscut saws, as is required in wilderness areas. There's no mechanization allowed. The Wilderness Conservation Corps is our team of interns that comes in every summer. They're working 8 days on in the backcountry. They've got 4 days off in between their different hitches. This goes on for 2 to 3 months, and they do the most work of the year in the most remote locations.
Okay. And then once those are in, we can try shoving these in where they fit. Same with the WD cans.
These are people that come all across the country and have varying levels of backpacking experience, from hardened outdoors people to never spent a night outside, and they decide to come out here and do trail work, and they work all day long clearing brush and cutting logs, and they have a pretty incredible experience, and they work really, really hard.
Shut that door, and then everyone toss a hard hat into the van.
I like to say with the Kalmiopsis, you start high and then you climb down into the pit to get to the Chetco, and then you gotta climb back up out of the pit. But yeah, it's incredible out there, guys. You're gonna love it. I love the Kalmiopsis, and I think it's valuable to go there because it is a perfect definition of wilderness in that you can be 10 miles into the belly of the Kalmiopsis and feel like you're somewhere not many people have traveled. The Kalmiopsis is tough. It's incredibly burned and really hot and really exposed, and the soil is tough on your feet. You can literally feel hot rocks poking your feet through your boots. And I think for those reasons, a lot of people don't like the Kalmiopsis.
I joined Army ROTC in fall of 2020 at this point, and I graduated this past June and commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Army. If it wasn't this, it would have been buying a gym membership and just hitting it hard every single day, twice a day usually. But this was a much more enjoyable way to stay in shape over the summer for sure.
We will have to divvy up tools a bit because we have 2 separate crews. My crew's taking 3 Pulaskis. Cole's crew's got 2 Pulaskis. 2 axes each, 1 pick each. We'll figure out what to do with the scalper, but someone's gonna carry that as well.
SMC did a very good job of being like, this is gonna be hard. Like, you guys, I don't think anyone that I talked to was trying to undersell the challenge that we were about to take on. Probably the hardest thing I'll ever do on so many different fronts of like physically, you're being tested, mentally, emotionally, you're being tested. And then like when you're tired, you still have to work, or you still have to like come back to camp and like make your own food and get your own water and like survive in a sense. I really like an answer to things. Like I'm very much like, it's black and white. And so yeah, like I'll be in pain. I'm like, why am I doing this? And I can't really answer that for myself.
Okay, folks. We are right here, Babyfoot Lake. Start of the journey. We are going all the way over there. Wow. As we climb up this ridge, we're gonna be able to look all the way across the Kalmiopsis and see Vulcan Peak, which is where we're ending the trip at. We just got a lot of miles to cover in between. This trail
It is rugged, it is tough, but there's a reason why it was the first route that SMC ever maintained, and it's because it is damn beautiful and really special. So I'm so excited that you guys are out here. It will be tough, but it's gonna be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Long live on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Long live!
Oh, back again.
The Kalmiopsis Wilderness is 180,000 acres, designated in the 1964 Wilderness Act. It was recognized as a piece of land that was so special because of the amazing things that happen with the endemic species and different botanical zones.
Year after year of landscape scale wildland fires have created this wild landscape. When I'm there, and I've talked about this with other people, it's a common feeling. You feel like you're in awe of it. You feel enchanted. You feel intimidated. You feel a little scared.
Fire has been a part of the history of the Kalmiopsis forever. For Siskiyou Mountain Club, most notably, it probably was the Biscuit Fire of 2002. There were trails that had been destroyed by fire, both in the sense that there were lots of fallen logs over the trails, and also because after these big fire events, brush tends to grow up so rapidly and so thick that it kind of engulfs the trail.
Made it up.
I would say the Kalmiopsis is enchanting. I would say it's rugged, bizarre. You know, you go out there and here's the redwoods, here's the coast. And you kind of go, what? This looks like Mars.
The landscape back there is daunting. The work tasks have been undone, and they've been undone for a reason, because you spend July in there and you are going to be humbled in a big way, so there's nothing easy about that place. It's definitely established when the miners were tough folks, right? Pack strings like to go straight up and straight down, and if you spend any time in there, it's a pack string kind of place. If you're just a bunch of clay put together, a bunch of soft parts, you kind of subject yourself to the kiln and see what kind of pottery you end up with when you go after you go in there.
So a mile and a half left.
The first few days, it was a bit of a slap in the face, like in a good way, right? Like in a way that like humbles you and forces you to commit to something. I think all of us came in feeling a bit confident, like, oh, we got this, and then first couple of days, you're sitting there thinking, did I make the right choice?
People kind of go into the wilderness thinking they're going to come out with all kind of answers. Well, I always come out with all kind of other questions. Questions, like, why?
When a lot of these interns apply, they try to prove and convince us that, hey, I want to do this because I'm up for a challenge and I want to improve, or I want to get tougher. If they were to leave mid-season, they're letting themselves down.
I'm my own worst enemy, and so today I was kind of like questioning if I could do this. You know, in the lows, you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? Or like, why am I here? But just my personality would take a lot for me to actually like call it quits. And everyone else is doing it, so like if they can do it, I can do it too. I have to find that like little bit in me. I'm not a quitter. I don't want to quit. It's like I'll get through it.
I admire you so much. You good over there, Jim? Megan RL! Freaking bad bitch.
You're a bad bitch. I admire you so much. It's crazy.
Maintaining trails is important, especially in these remote spots that have been protected. Wilderness is a resource that just has intrinsic value, and I think it's hard to explain that value unless you've experienced it and spent some time out here. In order to foster those experiences, you have to maintain a little bit of access where people can come out here and walk these trails and see these places, and also see how much work it takes to keep these trails open. I think there's value in seeing that a group of people have put so much work into a spot that, hey, if those people care that much about it, then maybe I should care that much about it.
When you lose a trail, you lose an experience. It's a part of the quality of life in the same way that, you know, if you live in New York City, Central Park contributes to your quality of life.
It goes to the idea that trails and maintaining trails and having people active in a wilderness area protects it all by itself. Having these trails open helps ensure that the people that are out there are people who are respecting the wilderness and using it in a way that they were designated to be used.
You know, we're talking about work here. You know, there's a difference between, you know, kind of shouldering a pack and throwing your favorite food in there and kind of just staring at the birds, and then it's another thing to go in there and do the same thing, but, you know, 10, 12 hours of physical exertion.
Those pitches that you have to really dig deep, you're crawling on your hands and knees to handsaw brush a few inches from the ground. Sweat is dripping in your eyes, and you're face to face with a bush full of poison oak. That's really where character is built, and it just warms my heart every year that the interns also notice that.
Time to go swimming.
I'm really tired. So the water is going to feel very nice. Oh, that feels good.
Love to hear music in my ears. I feel like I could headbang it too. We're a little too high.
There's a bunch of switchbacks. There's like 14 switchbacks coming out of Taggart's Bar, and you go all the way up to the top of this little hillside. It's like 1,000 feet, and then you go straight back down 1,000 feet to Box Canyon. This little blip right here, infamy. We've worked on it so many times. It's a cool spot though. And then once you get there, you cross the creek, and then we got our long walk up all the way to the top of Johnson Butte, and that is a hill that. That's a win that you can take, and you can be like, yeah, I freaking made it, and I can like add my name to the list, and like I'm a baddie, and it's just it's good. It's good.
Tough hill.
Another thing that I wanted to tell you guys is that section of trail that we worked on today, I answered to a lot of people. They're like, oh, Carly, like, can I bring my niece or can I bring my sister on this hike this year? Like, I've always wanted to do it. Like, is now the time? And I honestly had to tell them no. It's like, yeah, it's actually like pretty hard to do right now. So we have skipped this portion before, so that's why it's really a big deal that we were able to bust this out now. So thank you guys.
Yeah. I actually adore her. Why am I getting emotional? She's really been getting me through this hitch. And yeah, just like such a ball full of energy and light and so uplifting, and somehow always knows exactly when you need her to be there. So yeah, I feel like I don't have enough words to express like how grateful I am for her. She has a lot of connection to this trail, and like this work means a lot to her. I think honestly that's really gonna help me for the rest of the hitch of like, again, like needing, for me I need to do it for someone, and like this hitch is kind of like in my mind for her.
We don't let anything go to waste.
It's a big maze in here. Big maze. That's that spot.
Also, like, I don't know why, but I was like, I'm doing this for Carly. I'm doing this for Carly.
Aw, thanks, Megan.
That's good. It kept me going.
That means a lot.
No, I needed it.
There's a lot of cross-pollination in between SMC and the military. Most people do what SMC does because no one else really does, right? Not a whole lot of other people in the region are going to keep these trails open and keep them maintained, and they do it not only for themselves but also for the benefit of other people that they're probably never going to meet.
That question comes up sometimes, like, well, there's so few people here that visit, say, the Kalmiopsis, and the trail is so difficult to maintain. Like, why even do it? You know, is it worth it for such low visitation? My friends that asked that question, we talked about it, and I pointed out that it's not about numbers. You know, it's about many other things. The wilderness should not, and I don't think can be measured by or given value based on the number of people that visit it.
just gonna do my pad and my pen.
I know a lot of you guys are tired and really are just ready to go home. Some of you guys have been here for over 2 months. Some of you guys over a month. Yeah, no, that's a long time, and I know your bones are aching. I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling tired as well. But this is our last day before we celebrate all of your guys' hard-ass work. So let's give it one last push. 1, 2, 3.
Calvin.
Oh Lord.
You, the 2023 crew, are the first intern crew ever to hike the whole Trans-Kalmiopsis end to end.
Best crew. That's cool.
Best crew. I got words. I wanna thank you, Ulysses.
Looking at me.
No, yeah, you killed it today. Thank you for pushing me up.
Yeah, actually, I gotta say some words too. I mean, whatever this is, trauma bond or whatever, us just in the moment being pissed. Like, it's learning type 2 fun has been the greatest thing, because like you get to these points at the end of the day where you can celebrate with everyone. Pretty stoked the distance we've covered and like the amount of work we've put in. Everyone's just been super energetic and positive, and I wouldn't want to have been a part of any other crew. So thank you guys a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to explain to people what you do out here, right? Like they get it conceptually and abstractly, and they're always like, man, that sounds like it sucks. Like, yeah, it does, but it's the best thing ever, man. And they don't get it.
What do you think?
I feel like I have a really hard time in some other things being like proud of myself or like knowing my accomplishment, but like I think that's one of the things that I've learned the most this summer. It's okay to go through something and then be like be proud of yourself.
Inside of my boot. Is there a hole in the boot?
Sole, there might be a rock or something.
No, I took the sole out. It's like the bed of the boot.
No holes?
Yep.
Yeah, it's my opinion as well.
How lake is this lake?
And the lake is right here, and then we're gonna climb up, and the car is right there.
And we actually drop down into my ass print and then come up the ridge and out the other cheek, and we go as far as we can possibly go on the map.
Yeah, so it's a good route.
It's a good route.
Yeah.
The route that inspired SMC.
I will say it's probably it is the most beautiful place that we've been.
but you work for the views. It is a long, tough, rugged way to nowhere, but sometimes nowhere is the place to be.
Just taking turns.
No, they just, I mean, because like you guys are all on TikTok, but like your parents are on Facebook, right?